Bună ziua și bine v-am regăsit din studioul Business Days TV, vă spun toate astea. De această dată l-avem ca invitat pe domnul Dale S. Richards, care este mentor al numeroși CEO din lumea întreagă, care a făcut companiile să câștige peste $1 miliard, care a lucrat, așa cum spunea puțin mai înainte, cu companii din cam toate domeniile și cu peste 50 de tipuri de tehnologii. Așadar, avem alături de noi o persoană care ne poate spune mai multe lucruri despre cum vor evolua lucrurile în domeniul marketingului, în domeniul tehnologiilor. Discuția o vom purta, căci v-am obișnuit deja astăzi să trecem, să sărim de la una la alta. Discuția de această dată va fi purtată în limba engleză. So, welcome. Thank you for your being here. I know that you have been to Romania before and you already know some of the Romanian market. Also, I know that you are an important voice over the ocean. Is your experience relevant in the Romanian market?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to share that experience with the people there, and I think the people are eager to learn, although somewhat hesitant too. Okay, so we have both sides of the equation. There's a eagerness to learn, and then there's a skepticism about, well, somebody's coming from America, and I know that a few years back
and it's
that
telling
wasn't
us
so
what
good.
to do.
Okay, so my purpose here, one of your fellow countrymen heard me speak in the United States, and I have 25 years of experience with turning around over 150 companies and commercializing 50 ideas all the way to the market to success. He felt like that he wanted to give back to Romania by bringing a resource in that could help the people accelerate their opportunity for business growth. So that's why I'm here.
And you already know the Romanian market, and you're bringing some new experiences on it.
Yeah, so you're stretching a little bit because I've been here 10 days, all right?
Okay.
Back in September of last year, I gave 3 conferences, and so I know a little bit about the history just because I was informed, but I wouldn't call myself an expert on the Romanian market. All I know is that things are changing for the better, and that is a good thing. And the government is, you're working to take some of the corruptness out of it, and so you have willing people, educated people. You have a government now that is turning more honest, and companies will flow in. You're getting some resources, like the European Union has got some funding. You've got some banking and private investor fundings, and so you're getting all the necessary pieces to allow business to succeed.
Okay, let's talk about the role that marketing is playing in nowadays companies. What would you say about?
So I'm going to redefine marketing for you.
Okay.
So there's a difference between sales and marketing. Sales is a person goes out and sells what the company produces. Marketing is finding out what the users want and produce that. So you have sales teams that go out and they sell the products, and they're out there convincing the market that they need to buy the products. That's sales. Marketing is surveying your customers, understanding what they want, what they need, developing products that meet customers' needs. So those are often blurred. Sales and marketing are often put together. I don't recommend them together. Sales is one function, and marketing is another channel. So are you asking me about sales or marketing?
About marketing.
So I believe that it takes a lot of money to get a customer, and people will go out with their sales team and spend a lot of money to get a customer, and then people wait for the customer to call them with a problem, and then they answer the problem. So that's called reactive customer service, and at my session tomorrow I'm going to share how to turn that to proactive customer service, and that is active marketing. So to me, you can grow your existing customer base by 2 to 5 times by doing proactive marketing, customer
Only by
service.
doing proactive?
Yep, by proactive rather than reactive. Reactive is I answer the phone when the customer has a problem. I answer the phone when they have an order. Proactive marketing is finding out who your key customers are going out and building relationships with them, finding out what they need, produce what they need. That's the big difference.
And we are talking about social media before, just a few seconds before.
So social media is a fairly inexpensive way to grow your company. It takes some effort, but there's a number of channels now where if you methodically put out blogs, you want to become a thought leader, an expert leader in your industry, so you can do that via the various channels. You've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, so forth and so on. And if you become a thought leader by implementing blogs on technical subjects.
So you should have content.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you just go out and put your
driven.
name on Facebook or on LinkedIn, you won't draw anybody. You have to be actively, proactively becoming a content leader. Then you can use those channels to bring people in with asking questions, issuing blogs, following up on different events you're at,
Practically, you should have a
videos.
relationship with the customer, an active relationship with the customer, and offering the customer the content that.
Yeah, so just like the proactive marketing, if you do that with proactive social media, you can have a huge growth opportunity just by using social media channels.
Okay, it's good to know. Tell us, I'll say 3 tips and tricks. You already say 8 tips and tricks that will help any company to grow.
Yeah, so I've kind of boiled it down to my top 7 ways to increase
Okay,
the value of your business.
Okay.
So I have 20 of different ways, but if you look at it, the number 1 way is to increase the productivity of your people. And
how you're going to do that?
Yeah, you need to come to my meeting tomorrow.
Okay,
at 2:30,
actually, I will, but
so the situation
our
is,
viewers.
I'm getting a feeling after talking with several Romanian companies that the people tend to be siloed and just concerned with me. And if you look at the 5 levels of culture, the 4th of the 5 is team. The other 2 are related to the individual. And when you can bridge the gap from the individual value to a team value, you have a jump in productivity. So I just spent a few hours with one of the major sponsors of the conference, 800 employees.
Yeah.
And their problem is engagement of employees. And so I taught the productivity pyramid, I call it, to get engagement with the employees. So I think the number 1 thing maybe for Romania is to move from a self-oriented to how do I make the team work? And so that's number 1.
And number 2?
Number 2 is the proactive customer,
Okay.
which I explained. But you see, it takes a lot of money to get a customer, and then people just wait for them to call or have a problem or make an order. Whereas if you can identify your key customers and proactively go visit them and build relationships with them, you benefit in 3 ways. 1 is you get synergistic sales. So I've found in over 150 speeches to companies that a customer typically only orders about 10% of the product line. They get used to ordering a certain amount and that's all they order. Well, you got 80 to 90% of the product line they don't even know about.
Yeah.
So you can create synergistic sales by having a relationship. The second thing is you can have retention. If you're building a positive relationship, there's a factor called the pain of change. Have you ever heard of that factor?
Yeah.
So if you have a reactive customer service relationship, the studies show that if you have a 10% higher price, a customer is looking for another vendor. But if you build this proactive relationship, that pain factor goes to 40%. So you can have a 30% higher price and they will stay with you. So building a relationship gives you retention. The other thing you can do with your, what I call your gold customers, is get quality referrals. So if you get it, if somebody came and you were my customer, right, and you said, hey, Bill over here might use your services, and so I call Bill and I say, hey, I was speaking here and she said that I ought to call you because there's synergy between our 2 companies. You want to go meet? The probability of that person to go meet with me is almost 100%.
Yeah.
So you get from your gold customers referrals to other what I call hot leads. So It's a way to build your business about 2 to 4 times just by cultivating your existing customers.
Let's talk about technologies.
Okay?
Which are the first thing that you recommend to a company to do?
The number one thing I recommend is to take tribal knowledge and turn it into systems.
Tribal knowledge.
Do you know what tribal knowledge is?
I don't know.
No, it's a new term.
Okay.
Okay, so tribal knowledge is you have somebody who's been in the business for 30 years.
Okay.
All of the knowledge of their operation is up here, right?
Of course.
So all of a sudden that person leaves. Now you have this big gap. If you can convert what's tribal knowledge, that's the knowledge up here, to a system.
Oh, so it's knowledge management
Knowledge
actually,
management.
something, yeah.
And usually companies do not turn their tribal knowledge to systems until they're about $50 to $100 million in revenue.
Okay.
So if you're a small company and you can systemize your brain power to a system, you're worth way more money. And you're duplicatable, you lower risk, you can be scalable. So I can take something here and move it to Bucharest, I can move it to Germany, whatever, if I have a system. If I don't, I have to take that tribal knowledge person and have them over 6
move.
months
Yeah,
to
yeah,
train, okay? So that to me is the number one thing that small business should do for technology is systemize it.
And the number 2?
Yeah, I believe that we talked a lot in the conference about robots and the threat to human knowledge and so forth and so on. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, technology is coming in various ways. There's programs, software that are taking jobs. So the situation is we need, as individuals, to create value, and we create value by following systems and increasing our productivity. So we can counteract some of the robots and the systems by having our systems be worth higher value and higher efficiency. And so if there's higher efficiency, there's less need to go to automation because we already have a system of manpower or women power that's
Can do
automated.
that, yeah. A conclusion and a small piece of advice for the companies.
Advice?
Yeah.
So my advice is never give up.
Okay.
Okay? And entrepreneurism is a lot of pain, a lot of struggle, a lot of sacrifice. Some days you don't want to get out of bed because it's so hard, but it's worth it. Controlling your own outcome, having an opportunity to excel, enjoying your job. It's not just a job. What I try to create is a team, and it's fun to go to work, and it's fun to be a team. Okay? So I think the climate here is opening up to allow this wonderful expertise of people to be used with technology to create successful business. So you're on the verge.
Added value. Thank you very much.
My
Vă
pleasure.
mulțumim și dumneavoastră că ne-ați urmărit și vă zic la revedere pentru astăzi din studioul Business Days.